This MFL MarMac Coach Conversation brought to you by Birdnow Chevrolet, Meyer Auto Service, and Havlicek Trucking. Dan Anderson, head coach of the MFL MarMac Bulldogs, joining us for the first time in school history. They've made it to the semifinals after last week's win over Iowa City Regina in the quarterfinals. Coach, how'd you guys get it done?
We won up front. The guys up front, our linemen, controlled the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively. We were able to get some pressure on Dumont from the quarterback from Regina. And we were able to do it with four-man pressure, which was great because, we thought maybe we'd have to blitz all the time, and that puts your DBs in a bind sometimes if you're not getting home. But we were able to run some zone coverage and still get enough pressure to make him get rid of the ball quick. And frankly, I was a little surprised we didn't see more screens, but they had to cut down their playbook because when we did blitz, we were getting home pretty quick. And so we mixed it up. Offensive line, like I said, offensive line and defensive line, I thought dominated up front, and our backs ran extremely hard. We made some adjustments to a few things that we weren't expecting, and that got the game, got our running game going, I guess, there in the second quarter.
How motivated was this team to make MFL MarMac history last Friday night?
Well, they were very motivated. It was great to those kids to finally get there and to get to the dome and get over this obstacle because, we've obviously, everybody knows we've gotten to the quarterfinals 5 straight years. And, I don't know how much more I could take not getting to the semis, but it sure felt good to get that monkey off your back, and the kids, the same way. A lot of these seniors have been playing, not only on the team, but actually been starting or playing a lot since they've been freshmen and sophomores. So they've been part of these losses in the quarterfinals. And so, that's a lot of years of pain and motivation to get them to the next level. And so they worked extremely hard in the off season, lifting weights and preparing themselves for this moment. And they were able to shine on Friday night.
What's it like putting together a practice plan after daylight savings time goes back to standard time, and you got to make a few adjustments because the sun goes down earlier?
Yeah, well, we'll practice on our game field and turn the lights on, but practices will be a little shorter. At this point, you are who you are. You're not gonna add 100 new things and we're not gonna beat anybody in the dome with surprises. We're gonna beat them with execution and what we do well. And so it's just fine-tuning the things we do, fixing a few little things that maybe didn't go quite right on Friday night, and just running those things better, looking for advantages if there are any, with our next opponent, Underwood. And, we never skip out on conditioning on Tuesdays and tackling drills. So that's stuff that we always do, no matter if we have a 2-hour practice or a 3-hour practice.
From a conditioning standpoint, it's warm in the Unidome, obviously, a warmer environment than what you've played in probably since the middle of September. Is there any way to get your guys ready for that?
Not really, other than just make sure they understand that it's going to be hot. They have to hydrate a lot, drink plenty of fluids leading up to that game. And, if you're able to, if you've got some depth, make sure that those guys that are your number twos are getting quality reps this week in practice so that they can get out there and give those guys a break. Also offensively, different personnel groupings, maybe a way to get our tight end, Cade McElwain, off the field for a few snaps, maybe having like a 3 receiver set or something. And because he plays both ways. And so we found ways to try to get a few of these guys off the field, maybe a few plays to catch their breath. But the fact is, if you're a 2-way starter, you better have some stamina because, you're going to be playing a lot on Friday night. I don't have a lot of sympathy for guys saying that I'm tired. So these guys, we work really hard in practice all year long. We still condition, 2 to 3 times a practice on Tuesday nights, tough Tuesdays, we call them. And the guys kind of relish that, to be honest with you. I asked them last week, I said, you want to skip out on the conditioner? And they said, heck no, that's what's got us here. So I'm not too worried about that. They're going to be hot. They're going to, be gassed a little bit, but hey, when you get to this point, there'll be a lot of adrenaline pumping, and I'm sure that those guys from Underwood will be gassed too.
And what do you know about Underwood? What have you liked about them on film?
Well, they've got some similarities to Regina offensively. They're a spread team, but they run the ball really well. They're the highest scoring offense in the state of Iowa in Class 1A football. And defensively, they hold teams to 5.5 points per game. So statistically, they're the best team in the state of Iowa. But statistics don't say everything. Heart says a lot. Their quarterback's got 2,300 yards and 29 touchdowns. He's only a sophomore. He's already committed to Iowa to be a pitcher. They've got two really good receivers, this Ravelin and Boothby, who are multi-year starters. And they've got 40 some catches and 15 touchdowns, one of them. And another one's got, I think, 35 catches and 7 touchdowns. So, I mean, they've got some outstanding receivers. They've got a running back that's got 1,300 yards. So, they've got a lot of similarities scheme-wise to Regina, but the fact is these guys can really pound the ball at you too. They got a 195-pound running back, like I said, 1,300 yards. So, I mean, they're balanced. They're more balanced probably than Regina was. And their defense is top-notch. There's only one team in the state of Iowa that has more tackles for loss and sacks than us, and that's Underwood. So, I mean, they bring the pressure just like we do. So, schematically, defensively, we have a lot of similarities. We're very aggressive. We're an odd front, and we're not afraid to go into some man coverage and bring some heat. They do the same thing. They've seen a lot of spread teams. They haven't seen many teams like us out in Western Iowa. That are physical, that have 2 or 3 backs in the backfield a lot of the time. So, it'll be a little bit different for them. We've seen some spread teams. So, I mean, we think we'll be prepared for what we see.
Great, Coach. Hopefully this ride can continue at least one more week. Keep kids healthy. Enjoy the Dome on Friday afternoon. Best of luck to you. And as always, this time of year, let's have another conversation next week.
I sure hope so. Thanks, Darren.
Dan Anderson, head coach of the MFL MarMac Bulldogs, brought to you by Birdnow Chevrolet, Havlicek Trucking, and Meyer Auto Service.